right, cool. I don't want to take too much of your time. So maybe a quick hello, tell my listeners who you are and what you do for the band.
My name is Matt. I'm the bass player, singer.
Marty Surratt, guitarist / backup vocalist.
Awesome. And I mean, you guys essentially are just a three-piece, right?
Three-piece.
Yeah. I try to remember. Last night became a bit of a blur near the end of it, but I do remember your set being really solid, and I was really enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
What's beyond the name or behind the name Diablo Strange?
Originally, I think we wanted to be blues oriented. We still wanted, the heaviness, but it was blues oriented. So we just kind of mulled around the idea of, devil music. That's how it started, right?
Yeah,
it was all kind of. So then we came up with Diablo, but there was something we had to add something to it.
Everything's already taken, is what.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's just really hard to come up. It's easier to write a song. It's almost easier to write a song and to come up with a song name than it is to come up with an actual band name.
With one that you're going to be happy with.
Exactly.
That's original, yeah.
And we're both kind of like Cream fans, so the Strange Brew kind of came up.
All right.
And that's kind of how we kind of put in the Diablo Strange kind of.
Yeah, like the origins of the blues is it came from the term the Blue Devils. So when we looked up the origins of the blues, we were like, well, we could kind of use that concept. So then we had to change Devils to Diablo because everything Blue Devils and stuff started taken.
Yeah.
After so many iterations, it basically just we put those two words together and we were like, it kind of describes us where it's bluesy, but we're kind of weird that we won't stick to traditional blues. We'll kind of branch out.
And at the same time, I think our name allows us to do more than just kind of be pigeonholed. We can kind of. I find that our songs don't necessarily have to stay one style. We can kind of do what we want with that name.
Definitely something that I enjoyed about the set is that it wasn't just one particular approach. You definitely rooted in the blues, very obvious, but you're at sort of both ends of the metal spectrum and the hard rock spectrum and the blues, and there's a lot of.
We wanted that freedom right from the get-go. Like we didn't want to say we're going to be a metal band or we're going to be a rock band. We kind of want to be somewhere in the middle and have the freedom to go in either direction whenever we feel like it.
Sweet. Okay, how long have you been in that band anyway? How long has Diablo Strange been around?
Yeah, so 4 years.
Okay. 4 years.
Awesome.
Few lineup changes at the beginning, but the way it is now is the way it was meant to be, I think.
And now, I honestly, I apologize, I haven't had too much time to look into the material itself, but what do you have in terms of releases, or do you have anything in the works that you're going to be hitting us with in the upcoming future?
We have our EP that we initially released, full-length record, 6-song EP.
And when was that?
That was in, was it 2012?
Okay.
Was it? Yeah. It was roughly 2012. And then we have the full-length record, which we released was it last year?
Yeah, I think that was 2013.
So that's still pretty fresh. You're still working. How's that reception been?
It's pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good.
Nice.
And then we're kind of messing around, had the idea of recording, came across, we just had opportunities to record, so then we put like a 2-track kind of demo, just kind of messing around on Bandcamp, just to, free downloads, just kind of a gift to the fans, really.
Why not? Yeah, when was that?
It was right around Christmas time. That would have been 2013.
Yeah, so I guess the record would have been 2012, and those 2 songs were done in 2013.
Yeah, so we just released it for free online, 2-song EP, and just said, hey, here's 2 new tracks, download them for free.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's interesting now, we're switching from the material possession of music to the digital.
Exactly.
Try to make it interesting for fans and, all that kind of stuff.
Well, at the same time, it just made it easier for us. When we had those 2 songs, we knew they were solid songs, and then we had the opportunity to record, and we were like, well, let's just do it and put it out. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
Of course. You don't have to save up for a big budget. You're only recording 2 tracks.
Yeah.
We did the majority of it in our jam room.
Okay.
So
it's like
self-recorded. Did it. So.
Nice.
And the fans don't have to wait as long in between releases, right? It's like we just release an album, and several months later, here's 2 tracks, right?
They get hungry.
Yeah.
It's good to kind of feed a little bit here and there, for sure. How do you guys go about your writing? Is that a whole group thing? Is there one primary writer?
Marty mainly writes most of it. I think you get the gist of a song, bring it to us, and then we kind of just rearrange it, make suggestions.
I'll write the foundation of the song, then we bring it as the band, and then it kind of morphs from there. Everybody adds their own spin to it.
Okay.
We always, suggestions, the bridge should be longer here, little things.
Awesome. What should we expect next? Where you guys going? What's the plan?
We're working on on putting a video out for that Swine,
Okay.
one of the 2 tracks that we just put out, and just playing shows. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but the Moncton scene's kind of died down a little bit. Some of the clubs
has it?
have shut down.
Okay.
That venue's closed lately.
Yeah, there's quite a few venues. So there's only a couple venues to pick up, but we're hoping to get some shows going, get some local maritime acts coming to Moncton.
Nice.
From outside of Moncton,
sure.
you know, exposure and everything else. We know shows like this, Maritime Metal Fest, you know, you meet bands, and they're great rock and roll, great heavy metal, and we want to bring it to everywhere. So
For sure. Any plans to bring yourself places?
Just went around the park passing out classes and earplugs.
that.
Party on.
Coming to Halifax, I guess, is the main question.
we love to play Halifax. We actually played, was it a month or 2 ago with Broken Homes?
Yeah, not that long ago.
You know, anytime we get an option to play Halifax, we will.
Yeah, we definitely want to.
You know, anytime somebody asks us, we're always game for it.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Well, I will be definitely at the next one.
Cool.
Now, one thing before we wrap up, I don't want to keep too much of your time. The whole design of my show, Metal Rises in the East, is to promote the Atlantic Canadian metal. And there is way more than even I, as an Atlantic Canadian musician myself, had any idea of. What are your thoughts on the scene we have here in the East Coast, and either the lack of exposure, or what do you think of the exposure?
I don't know. I think it's really, it's a great community, because I find when we first started, we ended up taking an opportunity to enter a competition for Metallica when they played Halifax.
Oh, yeah?
So, and because we were a new band, I mean, we didn't have great expectations. We just kind of signed up. But from that, the amount of bands that we met from that, and there wasn't many, maybe 10 bands.
Great networking.
But the opportunities and just the community, the givingness, everybody wants to help everybody else out. And I find that's what's really great about the scene in all of the Maritimes, just especially New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. I find we're kind of, you know, married together, and we always try to help each other out. So
Not just competitive kind of.
No, considering that the bands we're probably the closest friends with now, we met in a competition. So you would think there might be some, like, oh, you know,
animosity.
It's actually the exact opposite. Like, most
We
of
became
those
great
bands
friends,
that were in the finals, we're all like great friends now. We all support each other.
Yeah.
We played shows together since, so it's actually like Heroes Last Right. But, you know, obviously, like, they were in the finals against us, but, you know, we've become great pals now. They're just like,
and the guys in Severn Rain from Halifax.
Yeah,
we play with them at Severn Rain, and when they do the 2 Minutes to Maiden stuff too. I mean, it's just, and anytime they come through town, we always try to, you know, make the effort to get out there.
Yeah,
and
support
see
each
the
other
shows.
as much as possible. So.
Good. It almost seems like in some cases, and this is obviously not all the time, but in some cases there's almost more musicians in the crowd supporting these bands than there are in the actual, like.
And there has been situations where we played shows where there was just the bands.
Ditto. Yeah, I've been there myself.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wicked. Well, I'm not going to keep you.
Cool.
Wicked show last night.
Thanks, man.